Recently on the Wayspotters podcast, you heard my dad say,
"Put on your seatbelts, partner. The ride might get bumpy from here on out." Agents, trainers, keepers, pilots, eighth wallers, scouts, and our beloved explorers and wayfinders, welcome to episode number 207 of the Wayspotters podcast. Here at Wayspotters, we want to do everything we can to help you become a better wayfinder. As we've always said, we want to educate, entertain, and excite. Wayspotters is brought to you by the good people at the Pokémon Professor Network, and today is Monday, December the 22nd, 2025. I'm Blame Jamal, and I'm here with my good friend Chris. What's up, my guy?
Not much. By the time people listen to this, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes, absolutely. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. This is part 2 of our end of the year episode where we are recapping kind of month by month what has happened. So hopefully there's a lot of social media chatter on our on our January through June, and we're going to go July through December now. So, this is the last episode of 2025, or maybe it might even be the first episode of 2026. I'm not sure. Season 5 is going to be coming up soon, but Chris and I had the opportunity to record these two end of the year shows on the same day, so it's going to give us a couple of weeks of not having to record, spend some time with our family, not having to edit, but still getting you guys a weekly show with some substance to it. So we appreciate that we were able to get this done. Right, Chris?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So let the fun continue. So this is topic number 2 because topic number 1 was last week. So
Sarah Amanda, don't forget about topic number 2.
July 2025, Chris. Let's get into this. Community momentum meets mid-year reflection. So mid-year check-in. Everybody likes a good mid-year check-in. You know, you're in the heat of the summer. It's Go Fest season. So as summer hits, the Wayfarer community started to take stock of the first half of 2025. As contributors reviewed their approval rates, submission strategies, and supporting statements, mid-year scorecards and guides became popular in the Discord and forums, giving everybody a benchmark to aim for. So I use the term scorecard, and that could have many meanings. It's kind of an unofficial term that I've kind of used to kind of say, where am I? I'm a big nerd. I've got a spreadsheet, and I kind of mark off milestones when I hit them and when I don't. And I know Chris has a huge end of the year milestone that he's trying to hit to get on the leaderboard. Yes. So leaderboard, scorecard, you know, you can use those interchangeably. But mid-year check-in, Chris, people in July for some reason started to get a little reflective. You know, like I said, we were in Go Fest season. People were kind of taking stock of what had happened in the first part of the year and how they wanted to kind of start off the second part of the year. And like we were talking about last week, where that part of the year kind of felt like spring training. You know, the Cubs are in the World Series. Go Fest is a time where everybody's together and you kind of reflect on your friends and things you want to do. And I think Wayfarer had a big part of that. So major milestone. Expanded Wayfarer Go access for expanded Pokemon Go access for Wayfarer. So I couldn't get the date. We can figure it out later, but Wayfarer and Pogo lowered the eligibility to level 35, massively expanding the pool of contributors. Massively. Now, this is going to have ripple effects because these new people are going to start showing up on the forums, right? Yep. And we've talked about this ad nauseum with that little banner. This is the first time so-and-so is here. This is where we can say it all started, was in June of 2025. It opened the door to literally thousands of players, and that's not hyperbole. Thousands of players who were previously just shy of this level of requirement, sparking excitement and renewed community energy. So the forums and the discords lit up with tips, guides, and support for the new contributors just entering the system. July wasn't just about strategy, it was about growth. Lowering the eligibility to level 35 brought a whole new wave of Wayfinders, and the community just buzzed with fresh energy. And to be specific, and thank you to Chris, it was July the 29th was the date. So that's teamwork in action. That's live there. So did you want to say something about that, Chris? Because I got lots to say about the new people that came onto the forum. I didn't know if you wanted to say anything there before I went on to something else.
I think it was one of those things that I think we knew was coming eventually, because Scopely was going to want to come in and open this up to as many people as they possibly could. Because the more people you have participating in a system, the more information you can push to them and potentially earn you back more money, which is essentially what the end game is, right? And
yeah, that's what they want to do.
I remember being worried at the time that it was going to kind of influx the system with a bunch of new people who didn't necessarily know what was going on. And you get to that level in Pogo, you start to think, okay, where's the line that you draw between you've played long enough versus you've just literally opened up the game for a week and a half and now you're level 35.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think that the positives that come out of this far outweigh the negatives. And I get that some people were just like, oh, people are going to bot their way to 35. And I think that we've said that, right? A couple times in the show, but I think the positives outweigh the negatives, to be honest with you.
Right. Now, I do want to say something right now, because something that we're not going to talk a lot about is Recon. Because Recon will have its day and time where we kind of talk about it, but Recon kind of went the other way. They went up instead of going down, which let people like Chris, who's a very experienced Wayfinder, left him out of their system. And they made a choice where Pokemon Go decided to go down, Recon went up. And I think that says a lot about how the two games look at the inclusion system. So when we get later on in the months where people are going to go, well, why didn't they talk about Recon and this and that, is partly because like Chris can't even do it. So I'm not even going to put him through that and do that, because it's essentially the same thing. But I just wanted to foreshadow that if we don't get into a lot of Recon in this recap, that's why. But Chris, Scopely Watch, right? I was on Scopely Watch, and I'm still on Scopely Watch. So community continues to speculate on what Scopely's ownership team might mean for reviewing policies, rewards, and game interactions. So small hints of system updates like potential adjustments on how nominations are evaluated kind of sparked lively discussion, though noting nothing is confirmed, right? People thought that there was going to be this kind of edict coming down from Scopely to say, you know, gazebos are 4 stars now, or thumbs up. You know, I mean, there was speculation, and I think it was more than speculation. I think it was more hope that something was going to come down, because I think at this point people were eager for something new to kind of spark this kind of like, we get all these new people in the game, let's give them something to shoot for. So I don't know if you got thoughts on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you nailed it right there. I think I don't have a whole lot to add to that. I think you kind of summed it up perfectly.
Yep. So then features and focus, mapping and local impact. So July did see a renewed focus on the importance of accurate mapping and detailed location descriptions, right? So contributors shared tips on how capturing local landmarks, accessibility details, and community impact in and on nominations. Content sharing and mentorship again. More people experienced reviewers actively mentoring newcomers through Discord channels and forum posts. Again, shout out to Ellie just trying on that. And user-generated guides on how to get noticed by reviewers and best practicing and supporting statements continue to grow in popularity. There was a lot of people from the WDD that were making kind of how to do this guides for the influx of people that I thought was really helpful, where earlier in the year, things kind of felt like they were getting kind of negative and kind of toxic to me. And I don't know if it was the spirit of being the Go Fest month. Or the Go Fest month was June, but kind of coming out of the Go Fest season, people really kind of felt like they were working together. So July kind of felt like the community caught its stride. We were still watching the big corporate news, but now the Wayfarers and contributors were now thinking 3 steps ahead, crafting nominations with purpose and precision. And with the level 35 access, a new generation of Wayfinders started to join the ranks.
Yeah, and you get a whole wave of new people into the system, which is, at the end of the day, I think what was needed. You had a bunch of Ingress people kind of nope out when they were like, well, I'm not going to participate in a system that doesn't benefit Ingress, so see you later. And Niantic Scopely was kind of like, well, we need to replace them with, I guess, Pogo people?
Yeah.
So, hey, and welcome in.
It was like, you said that. You were like, well, how are we? I remember you specifically saying, how are we going to make up for all these people that were losing? And they were like, dude, hold my beer. You know what I mean? And,
yep.
Right.
Yep.
And they did it.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we all expected was going to happen, right? So. All right. August 2025, scaling up and community momentum. With Pokemon Go Wayfarer now open to level 35 players, August sees a significant spike in active reviewers. Community forums and Discord channels report a huge surge in tips, tutorials, and mentoree pairings to help new reviewers get started efficiently. Engagement metrics show a higher participation in both submitting and reviewing nominations, marking August as a peak month for Wayfarer activity. It was like a busy beehive of kind of activity for Wayfarer in August, and it was refreshing and it was nice to see. It was really nice to see.
And nominations were going through really fast. Remember, August was when Addison turned 16, and we stayed the night at the weekend at the national park, and I made all those nominations of those Boy Scout things, and they went through the day we were leaving. So I was like, wow, that's really cool. Because we had all that new blood that was reviewing things.
Yep. And it's nice when you have people who are new to the system. They pump out a bunch of reviews before they get disenfranchised just of getting rejected. So it's always nice, right? Scopely integration speculation, rumors, and discussion about Scopely's upcoming influence continue to dominate threads. Contributors analyze potential policy changes, in-game reward adjustments, and future integration with Niantic games. The community remains watchful but optimistic, balancing excitement with cautious strategy. There was a lot of... And there's that big thread on the forums, and I don't remember when it was posted. It might very well have been August, but they were like, what else do you want to see out of Wayfarer? And there's a ton of really good ideas in there.
Yes.
Right? And that was a lot of...
Was that Alice Wonder 1511? Didn't they start that? I think if I'm correct.
I think so. I can't remember.
Or they had a big part in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feature spotlight, enhanced supporting statements. Experienced reviewers emphasize the growing importance of high-quality supporting statements. Guides circulate on emphasizing local relevance, accessibility, and community value in nominations. Threads comparing fast approval versus long-term accuracy spark lively debates. Community recognition and collaboration. Peer-to-peer recognition becomes more prominent with badges, thank you threads, and mentorship acknowledgements appearing more frequently. August also sees the first informal calls to document regional hotspots and cultural landmarks, helping ensure diversity and inclusivity in new nominations. And this is something that we've talked about ad nauseum, is things that are regionally, culturally relevant and regional hotspots. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago when we were just like, yeah, maybe a lot of things you just leave to your local reviewers and
right.
And don't be spending your upgrades on stuff that's you got to get the local stuff.
I'll give you a case in point, Chris. Case in point. Now, would you ever in a million years, your answer is going to be no. So play along with me. Would you ever in a million years approve a crosswalk on the street? Like, the where you walk and they have the lines. Would you ever approve that as a way spot?
No.
Never. Now, let's say you are in Concord, North Carolina, outside of Charlotte Motor Speedway, and they've got a checkered flag pattern leading from the street to the speedway, and it's the extension of the finish line inside of the inside of the arena, or not the arena, the speedway. So imagine like the checkered flag where you cross the finish line, and they just kind of kept that going outside of the building, and it goes across a crosswalk. That's a POI.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because everybody knows what that signifies. And it's on the corner of the street, so it's not in the middle of the street, but the POI is on the corner. But I can't see anywhere outside of maybe Daytona, Talladega, other NASCAR hotspots where that would ever get approved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I completely agree.
So that's something that, like, if I nominated that would never upgrade that, because someone's going, why are you nominating a crosswalk? I'm not nominating a crosswalk. I'm nominating the finish line for Charlotte Motor Speedway. And like us NASCAR folks understand what that means. But that is something that I was trying to think of a couple weeks ago when we were talking about this. That's a perfect example of something that should remain local and anybody never should see that. That's not here.
100%, because like as much as you could explain that in the supporting information and have a really good supporting photo and like really good links, a lot of times people don't really read that stuff, and their instant reaction would be, why are you nominating a crosswalk? I'm not going to go any further than looking at the picture. See you later. Right? Whereas someone who's local to Charlotte and local to that crosswalk would look at it and go, I recognize that from that race that I'm currently watching, or that I watched last week, or that I was at.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
Whatever. And they would kind of go, I'm going to read the title and the supporting information. That's what I think it is. Congratulations.
That makes sense.
Solid nomination.
Yep.
Love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain things that just need to stay inside your circle, right? And it's, I'm not saying that you create a reviewing circle. I'm just saying that you leave it to the people who live near you and understand because they drive by it every day, or they drive across it every day. You know what I mean?
And before you close out August, there's some things that like drive me crazy because I just don't understand. Some people, like you used the term last week, like white knighting.
Mm-hmm.
People that get so upset and incensed over something in Fremont, California, that they're actively trying to get it removed or present it from being on the map when they live in like South Africa. You know what I mean? It's like they will never, ever interact with it, but they are like standing on a table and like beating their chest that this is ineligible. And I understand you're a map purist guy, but that type of thinking I don't understand with. I could see if it was in your city and you can prove that it's a danger or whatever or ineligible. But if it's across the city, I want to find that meme and it's like, show me on the doll where this POI is hurting you, you know? And I could be completely wrong in my thinking, but I tend to let things go that aren't NIMBY. Not in my backyard. You know, if it's not right around me and somebody wants to have something in Omaha, Nebraska, I'm like, cool. It doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, I can continue my day and know that something is going on that I don't like, and I don't have to be a part of it. It's not my monkey and it's not my circus, and I can leave it alone. But there's some people on the forum that even though it's your monkey, they got to go mess with it and they got to go poke and prod it. And even though it's not their circus, they got to go join it. And that's just not me. Like, if this is your local landmark and it's a big tub of mayo, fine. It's not hurting me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to put that in there.
That's fair. And I'm a big map purist. I won't go out of my way to yuck other people's yums. If it's locally culturally relevant to you and you think you can get it through in your area, have at it. I'm not going to do it here. I know it won't fly here, but I don't necessarily care enough to try and clean stuff like that off the map, right? And like when I say I'm a map purist, that stuff kind of bothers me, but it's not bothering me to the point where I'm gonna fight to get it removed, because I know it's not gonna get removed, right? Like this.
Now, I've got a couple of exceptions: fire stations,
Yep.
K through 12, stuff like that.
Yep.
I will, I've said that. I've been consistent. If it's a fire station, if it's K through 12, I will go get it removed, or I'll do my best to get it removed.
Stuff that meets removal criteria, I will go after all day long. I don't care where it is. Brisbane, Australia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Toronto, Ontario,
Right.
Santa Fe, California. I saw stuff in Manitoba the other day. There's a bunch. I got a review if for something that was on K-12, and there was like 7 other spots on the high school grounds. That's like a day and a half drive away. See you later. I reported all of it because it's on a school. Like, bye. I will never see it. I will never interact with it. It would, but that's, to me, that's a straight no-go. And I don't care where it is.
No, and I agree with you.
A lot of people were just like, well, why do you care so much? Certain things about the map I care about, right? But like stuff that I know is going to be a battle to get it removed, it just doesn't irk me like that. Like I don't understand why people get all worked up about stuff that really doesn't affect them, and stuff that Niantic has been very, very clear about that they're not going to remove, no matter how much barking you do. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your breath? Why are you wasting the bandwidth of your computer? Like, it's just, there are far more troubling things happening in the world than you fighting about neighborhood signs.
Right.
Yep. You know?
And I may have just done that whole bit so I could say, not my monkey, not my circus. I got to figure out who owns that trademark, because I want to get that I want some merch that says not my monkey, not my circus, but I got to figure out if it's trademarked, if it's, I got to figure that out. But I got to figure out a way to work that into like every episode.
I don't think it's,
maybe make a segment out of it.
Google says that it originated in Poland.
Yeah, it's a Polish proverb.
It's a Polish proverb, so I don't think anybody owns it. So we should be able to. We got to talk about that.
Don't drag me into your drama and your issues. I'm not getting involved.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, Chris, before you close out, we've got our special guest.
My name is Avery Joy Harvey, and I'm here to show you my Dubai chocolate that I'm making.
Ooh, chocolate. That looks delicious.
You've had enough airtime. All right.
One more thing for August. August was when they announced the power spots in India and Indonesia would turn into Pokestops and gyms, and that caused whole thing. And
that's right.
Those posts are still getting replies from people being like, "You screwed me." So,
yep.
That was one of those,
those people.
The best laid plans of mice and men.
Yes,
doesn't always work. You know what I mean? I love.
Oh, for sure.
Wayfarer's Guide to the Galaxy. Somebody says that, and then the guy looks at him and goes, "I don't think man had anything to do with it." And then that's the massive foreshadowing for the end of the movie that I probably just spoiled. You know what? That movie's been out long enough. That's just one of my favorite
There's no
moments.
spoilers. Yeah,
So, August was the month where community really scaled up. New Wayfarers arrived in droves, mentorship became central, and everyone was trying to balance quantity with quality. The excitement was tangible, and with Scopely on everyone's mind, the speculation added an extra layer of buzz.
You nailed it. All right, moving into September, so polishing the process. So after an influx of new reviewers in July and August, September became a month of process refinement. Veteran contributors focused again on mentorship. We talk a lot about mentorship here because I think there's a really good segment of the forum that is really welcoming and helping new people. I'll shout out Cindy Pooh. I don't know if there's a post on the forum that Cindy Poo hasn't commented on. And she is, no, I'm seriously.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
I believe they are retired and do this as a hobby. But there's not a post that goes by where someone isn't asking a question and Cindy Poo doesn't have an answer for them to try to help them out. So that's when I talk about mentorship. I'm talking about Ellie. I'm talking about Cindy Poo. There's a few other people that are quick to kind of come on and help out. But quality reviews and accurate nominations, helping set the standard for newcomers. Several high-profile forum threads compiled community best practices for supporting statements, photography, and eligibility checks, which is really cool when you see those kind of mega threads and people kind of keep it going, and then somebody new will come in, and then somebody will jump back in and go, "Hey, this is how that goes." I like that. I like positive things on the forum, because Chris, you know this. I do this for fun. We don't make any money off of this. We get enough stuff to kind of keep the lights on, and then even then we have to supplement it. So if I'm going to do something that takes away time from my family and my private time, it better be enjoyable. And if it feels like homework, then I don't want to do it. And I think as we talked about the first half of the year, some of the stuff felt like homework.
Mm-hmm.
But I do this for fun, and I like it, and I know you do it for fun also. Now, I will say, you and I have been incredibly spoiled by some of the things that we've gotten to do because we do this. But at the same time, if it felt like homework, then we wouldn't want to do it. Does that make sense?
100%.
I kind of talked in a circle.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't get on the forum to argue with people. And that's why when some people are like just out of their minds, like this doesn't need to be on the map, I'm like, at the end of the day, it's not that serious. Like it's I get it, but it's not that to me. I don't want to put my thing off on anybody else, but if you told me you had a little free library in Oshawa that was in somebody's front yard, like I'm still going to sleep really good tonight. Like it's not going to keep me up. And again, that's just me. Some other people, it might bother them, and I respect that because I respect everybody's position to be as outraged or not outraged as they can. And I'm at the stage in my life where I'm over the outrage. Like unless it's like literally in my front yard, I'm not going to be that concerned about it. However, I digress. I'll get back to this. So, feature spotlight reviewing efficiency. So September, when we went through and looked at this, highlighted tools and strategies for more efficient reviewing without sacrificing quality, because you don't want to be the SpongeBob need more stops. You want to make sure things on the map are good. So guides tend to circulate on batch reviewing. I talked about that. Do 25 at a time, take a break, drink some water, touch some grass, spotting duplicate submissions, and prioritizing submissions with higher community impact. So I want to get your opinion on this, Chris, because this is something that I think got a little controversial in September. People are like, well, I've got nothing around me, so you should approve this, even though it might not meet eligibility, but I'm out in the sticks. And I think most people say, nah, dog. But I think there's a certain set of people that go, okay, dog. So I don't know what you think about that.
There is a certain subset of people who think that Wayfarer should cave to rural people's needs. Mm-hmm. And I have, for a very long time, said that those people are very wrong. Wayfarer is game agnostic, and I will say this until I am blue in the face and dead in the ground. It's not Wayfarer's job to placate and to bend its rules for those people. And it frustrates me when people post to be like, oh, I got nothing. And then people are like, okay, well, you probably don't have nothing. How about you give us your general area and we will help you out? Like Cindy and
take a look at it.
And Ellie and a lot of you, me, are more than willing to drive the Google car around to try and help you find. And a lot of times people are just like, oh, you have that and then this and then this and then that and then maybe that and you could try that and you'll probably get that through because people might feel bad for you, and which happens. But like, a lot of times people are just like, well, no. I nominated my gas station and I have nothing else, so you should just approve my gas station.
Yeah.
That's not how it works, man. And people get
Not how it works.
real mad when we say that. And people
Yeah.
get real mad when you post that on the forums. And I said that on one of the threads, and I'm like, it's not Wayfarer's job to approve things that aren't eligible because you have nothing. I feel bad that you have nothing, but that's not a Wayfarer problem. And it got like 15, 20 likes from a lot of the hardcore Wayfarers who were just like, amen, thank you for saying the quiet powder out loud. And then a lot of people were just like, you're a gatekeeper. I'm like, no, I'm not. You got a problem with nothing being in your area. Go reach out to the Pogo team and be like, yo, you need to come up with ideas to help me play your game. Because I want to play your game, but I cannot play your game right now. You have a problem with your game. And that game, the problem with that game is Pogo, not Wayfarer.
Right. It's not Wayfarer.
Sorry.
So, like you said, forum debates that were focused on balancing speed with careful considerations, especially for the new contributors who are entering the system. Community engagement, recognition, peer recognition programs continue, with top reviewers being highlighted for their contributions. So it was a way to balance, I want this through fast versus I want this through correctly. And I think that's always going to be something that Wayfarer is going to struggle with, because you'll have people in a rural area that say, I nominated these 10 things that I want through tomorrow so I can spin them for community day. And people are like, well, this really isn't eligible. And, then it goes everything to you just said. But the thing that I did like was when people came on and shared their success stories, especially regionally, building camaraderie across states and countries. And a lot of those kind of revolved around something that could potentially be a little bit toxic, where someone says, hey, I nominated this neighborhood sign or this something in my area in rural Georgia or Tennessee, and everybody's like, no, that's not eligible. And there's a big, 15, reply thread where people are fighting about it. And then on appeal, it gets overturned. And then that person comes back later and says, look at this picture of these 10 trainers that are all standing by this gym that, if you guys didn't approve it, we wouldn't have this local community doing X, Y, or Z. And I love things like that. And it's like, I always will go and put 100% or a heart or a flame when Niantic, Aaron, or Orin or LC overturn something and it gets on the map, and then someone comes back and says, thank you, here's the impact. That always is going to get a response from me.
Yep, 100%. I love that stuff. Love it.
Yep. So the community also experiment with the monthly challenges and encouraging engagement and friendly competition. Now, this was mostly on the WDD. It was around this time where the leaderboard on the WD started to heat up again, and I started to play around again. And this is when I kind of found the Game of Thrones game that you guys were playing on the WDD. And I was like, ooh, and for like 6 days, I was all about it. And then I'm like, damn, Chris owns a lot of thrones, man. Yeah. but it's a cool way to, it's like, I remember being in school and like the teachers would find ways to get you to do your work, and they gamified it. And at the end of the day, you're like, hey, you got me to do 9 math problems and I thought I was playing a game. It's kind of that same way where the Game of Thrones game, and then Saramanda has a couple of games on there that kind of get you to review and nominate and do things that you should be doing anyway, but it doesn't feel like homework. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I am currently the all-time leader in crowns on that game on the WD right now.
There you go. There you go. So September kind of felt like the community had started to mature. So after months of growth, the focus had shifted from increasing participation to doing it right. Reviewing thoroughly and thoughtfully and maintaining the integrity of Wayfarer. It was a month of kind of polishing the process and setting the foundation for what's next.
You know what else happened in September?
What else happened in September?
They announced the monthly recognition emails.
Chris, I left that out on purpose. I know we're going to get into it in October, but I left it out of respect because I know it's a sore subject and I know we got to cover it, but I didn't want to have to bring it up before we had to bring it up.
I have a little because when you started doing these notes, just a little behind the scenes for the folks listening. I started kind of like a timeline thing that was just really rough. Here's the date that this happened, and I was gonna put together a show like this, and then Jamal sent me 75 pages of notes. It was like, look what I did, and I was like, holy crap, that is way better than I was come up with it. So I still have my little rough note thing. And I kind of look at it every month. I'm like, do I need to bring anything up? And then it's like, oh, September, the Wayfarer team announced Wayfarer recognition emails. And I'm like, oh, that hurts.
Yeah, you're like,
I still don't have
twist
mine.
Twist the knife.
Folks from Niantic, if you're listening, I still don't get mine. Wait, you know what?
That's so
I'm going to give them one more chance. I'm going to be hopeful that I will get my December one in January. And if not, then I will completely give up hope forever.
Okay, that's fair.
October 2025 roadmap and recognition. October is a big month for Wayfarer.
Mm-hmm.
The Wayfarer roadmap was announced on what day was it? Hold on, I have it on the first day of October.
I didn't put
1st.
the date in there. That's right. Yes, October 1st. Yep.
Niantic shares its vision for the next year, giving contributors a clear picture of upcoming features, tooling updates, and community initiatives. We got like 2 episodes of content out of that announcement.
Yeah, we sure did. Heck yeah.
They also announced and held an AMA, which was done like in the month of October. It was announced, and then the questions, and then they answered the questions all in the month of October. They adjusted the roadmap, contributor recognition, improved tooling, and hints at future automation. The AMA helped clarify questions and reassures the community about the direction of Wayfarer. The introduction to Wayfarer recognition emails, monthly assembly emails that show contributors their real world impact and stats sent early in October as part of a pilot program. And I will say, as much as I am disappointed at how this was handled and the number of people
dad answer.
Yeah, exactly. The number of people who didn't get it that first month and continue to still not get them, because it's not just me. There are people who got it the first couple months and then have stopped getting them. There's people who get them every other month. It's just the amount of information in these emails is fantastic. The emails themselves are amazing, and I am super proud of how they're put together, and super proud of the Wayfarer team and the ambassadors probably for coming up with this idea, putting it together, and executing it and getting it out to as many people as they have. Because I see them posted in our Discord. I see them posted in other chats, and people get excited when they get them every month. And there's a buzz of activity in our Discord and our channels every single month when these emails come out. And a couple people DM me and be like, "Hey, did you get yours?" And I go, "Haha, no." And they go, "Oh."
I know people are like, did Chris get it? And they're like really concerned about it. So I love that, the fact that people are like, oh man, did he get it? Did he get it?
I love that people are concerned about me getting them, but I don't want people to not be excited about their emails, and I don't want people to not talk about their emails because I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be the reason that it doesn't get discussed. I mute that channel for a couple of days. Don't go and look at it. I will be honest. But like, I genuinely love watching people react to the numbers that are in their emails. They're like, "Oh, look how many spins my stops got. Look how many. Oh, look guys, I found a new L17 area for a stop. I got that in my email and I'm super happy about it." I'm like, I'm happy for you. I love that. I love it. I love the engagement that these emails is creating. I absolutely want to make that clear. I love these emails so much. I just really wish that I was getting them.
I think it's great. Yeah. I think it's great. Yeah.
They're fantastic. Community response and engagement. Contributors analyze the roadmap in detail, sharing interpretations, strategies, and expectations in forum threads. The forums were bumping for a while there. It was great.
Sure were.
The
They sure were.
The AMA sparks discussions about automation, review quality, and the balance between speed and accuracy in the reviewing process. Recognition programs are highlighted, motivating reviewers and emphasizing the value of thoughtful contributions. Feature spotlight, tools and efficiency. Focus on upcoming tools and interface enhancements that promise faster, smarter reviewing while maintaining nomination integrity. Community begins experimenting with new approaches in anticipation of roadmap changes, sharing tips and best practices. Teams of contributors coordinate to explore regional strategies and improve nomination quality. The AMA encourages dialogue between new and veteran reviewers, fostering mentorship and knowledge sharing. October was all about clarity and momentum. With the release of the Wayfarer Roadmap 2025-2026 and an official AMA, the community had a front row seat to the future and a renewed sense of purpose. It was a month of learning, planning, and gearing up for what's next.
Love it. And that brings us to November, Chris. Polish, process, and previews. So the theme, refinement, and preparation for the end of the year impact, right? So the major milestones. Roadmap follow-up. Niantic releases clarifications, small updates based on feedback from October's Wayfarer Roadmap and AMA. Community contributors received acknowledgement for high-quality submissions and reviewing milestones, reinforcing engagement and motivation. Tooling tweaks. So minor interface improvements and back-end optimizations rolled out to make things smoother and more efficient. I think a lot of people on the forums really mentioned that, where there was no official thing that they did. I think we noticed, hey, this is going a lot faster. Mm-hmm. I don't need to use as many upgrades. I don't know if there's more reviewers or if they've expanded the area and they're showing it to more people. So it was like, you know, some of the best tweaks that they make are ones we never know about.
Yes.
And there's probably hundreds and thousands of those, and I'm fine with that as long as things go better. And then there was kind of a community buzz. So conversations that really centered around efficiency and accuracy with, you know, Wayfarer sharing insights from the updated tools and reporting early wins. And when it comes to the community and these things, I got to give a special shout out to Timbleton and Testone. Mm-hmm. And there's a new person that did a lot of things with the map, and I don't remember who it is. And I even looked for their name, but there was another person who's done a lot of coding on the back end to get the map and things going. I want to make sure that we give a special shout out to those people, gentlemen, ladies, whomever they are, whatever they are. Because discussion threads about roadmap and the implication with speculation about new automation and features that enhance systems without some of the plug-in features that we have, these things would seem kind of bland, but with it, it's explorative, right? So regional groups have helped us kind of gain momentum, highlighting the value of collaboration and getting people to feel like they have agency over what they're nominating and what they're reviewing, where it is, where it sits in a cell, where those things don't really matter to some of the people at Niantic. They matter to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, future spotlight, reviewing quality and automation. Contributors notice the first hints of automation in the review process, sparking discussions about best practices and adaptations. This is when we thought Emily was back for reviews, but Emily was definitely back in full force for nominations. You know, the R team started to show back up in the emails. You know, I, like everybody, well, I shouldn't say like everybody else, wanted to focus on speed, where you were more focusing on thoughtful reviews, ensuring that nominations met quality standards while testing new automation. I loved Emily when she was around, and I really disliked that, you know, she got taken advantage of and had to kind of, you know, be put in timeout and could only, you know, play with the square pegs and not the round pegs. Yep. You know, she could only put the square pegs. But I think that coincided with a really good time in the game where people were like, wow, this is really fun to nominate. It's going through. I could nominate on Monday. It would go through on Wednesday, and it would be in the game by the weekend. And I think that was really fun and really powerful when that was a thing. Um, so, and that's again balancing speed with thoughtful reviews. I can completely see the people that are say, "No, Emily, I only want you to find the coal, and I'll take care of the other things." Because Chris, we talked about this in depth when Emily wasn't working and the coal was coming through. Boy, it was bad, wasn't it?
It was so bad. Like, I don't think that we really, really appreciated just how much digging through absolute hot garbage Emily was doing until she wasn't doing it. And I remember literally doing 5 reviews and walking away from my computer and being like, those were
I remember you told me this.
the worst 5 nominations that I have seen in over a year in a row. Oh my God. And that's what I posted on the forums. And I'm like, please, I'm like, just come back. I don't care what you have to do. I have cookies.
Yeah.
Just come back, please. Because it was
And you're like, somebody
tough.
Yeah, you're like, somebody nominated this on purpose.
Like, it was so bad. It was almost unbelievably bad. And like it got me thinking, but like I remember a time when like it wasn't necessarily that prevalent that you had this much coal, but like I remember like it was tough getting through your reviews sometimes because it was so bad, like before Emily.
And people were getting cooldowns.
Right. People were getting cooldowns because they were rejecting 75 is a big number, but like 10, 15 things in a row. And they were just like, no, you're going too fast. Be like, well, you just showed me 7 cats in a row. It's not eligible.
Right.
What do you want me to do? Well, then Emily came around and everyone was like, this is nice. This is so nice. This is great. I can take my time. I can appreciate all of the things. That's not necessarily eligible, but that's okay. It's not like a flaming garbage can. And it's like, and then Emily goes down.
Literally.
Literally. And it was frustratingly bad. And it really made a lot of people appreciate just how much the AI was doing. Right. And it's
exactly.
It was the Wild West again. It was wild.
Oh, for sure. So I think at the end of the day, November was a month of fine-tuning with tooling improvements, recognition updates, and automation that's on the horizon. The Wayfarer community stayed sharp, collaborative, and ready for the end-of-the-year surge.
Mm-hmm. And the web submissions came out in the middle of November, too. Can't forget that.
Yeah, that's right. They sure did. Yeah.
A huge, huge quality of life improvement for Wayfarer.
For sure.
And like it's had its hiccups, but I think it's fantastic. And the multiple photos for your supporting information, I keep seeing it in my reviews once in a while, and I'm gonna do a show on it because people are not using it the way they should. And like I thought it was frustrating before when you would get one supporting photo that didn't have the point of interest in it, but now you're getting 5 supporting photos and not one of them has the point of interest in it, and it's just like it's really frustrating sometimes. I love it. I think it's it's great for people, but I think that we need to kind of maybe do a show on how to utilize it properly. All right.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, man. That's not a bad idea.
I think that might be the first thing we do when we come back. December, finally wrapping it up. Year-end wrap-up and looking ahead. Theme for December, reflection, milestones, and gearing up for 2026. Year-end community recognition. Niantic highlights top contributors, acknowledging those who made exceptional nominations, reviews, and community contributions throughout 2025. Scopely integration process. Following the May acquisition of Niantic's games business, updates show how collaboration with Scopely is beginning to impact games, Wayfarer, and potentially future projects. And the Wayfarer roadmap implementation begins. Early features from the 2025-2026 roadmap are being tested and integrated, giving contributors a first look at new tools and automation features. There's a lot of community buzz in December about kind of what's happened this year, what's we can look forward to in 2026. I think 2026 is going to be a bumper crop year for Wayfarer. I honestly do.
Agree. Oh, for sure. Yep, I agree.
Forum threads and Discord channels reflect excitement for year-end achievements, including top reviewers, nominations accepted, and community collaborations. Discussion continues around automation, recognition updates, and efficiency tools introduced late in the year. Contributors are planning strategies for 2026, building on lessons learned and tools previewed in the roadmap. Feature spotlight: tools, automation, and collaboration. Continued rollout of automation suggestions in reviewing workflows, allowing contributors to balance speed with careful judgment. Mentorship and regional collaboration programs gain traction as reviewers prepare for next year's nomination surge. Interface improvements making reviews smoother, helping contributors tackle higher volumes of nominations while maintaining quality. December wraps up a monumental year for Wayfarer, from community recognition and roadmap previews to ongoing Scopely integration. 2025 leaves us with lessons learned, milestones achieved, excitement building for 2026. The community has never been more connected, prepared, or inspired. I think that kind of sums up 2025 perfectly. I think that looking back, there was a lot of weirdness that happened at the beginning of the year that we didn't necessarily get that aha moment until May, which is like
later
5 months into the year.
Yeah.
That made a lot of what happened previous to that make a lot of sense. Like we've had conversations when Scopely was like, "Hey, we're buying Niantic's games," and I think you and me both at the same time we're just like, that explains so much about what's been going on this year. And it's unfortunate that we had 5 months of kind of doldrums essentially for Wayfarer. Like, there was good stuff that happened in the first few months, but like it wasn't a lot. But it makes sense. Like, they were probably having these discussions since late 2024.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. And it came out of nowhere. And it's one of those things that they couldn't really say anything because there's so many lawyers and money and accountants and, you know, there's NDAs and just, you know, there's probably levels of people at Niantic and Scopely that didn't know the extent of what happened until we found out about it, you know? So I think just kind of looking at this recap of 2025 and going into 2026, March, April is going to roll around and we're going to go, and we're going to learn things about December because, you know, looking at this show, the last half of the show, as we're recapping it, there hasn't been enough time gone by where we can really understand what happened in October and November till probably March or April, if we're being honest. Like, we just recapped December, but December is not even all the way over. So there's still more to come. Tintino put a message on the forums last Monday. He put something on the forums, and, you know, as of time of recording, we haven't had a chance to fully go through it, but, you know, we're going to learn more things as we go on. So I'm just really looking forward to 2026, Chris. I think I'm looking forward to 2026 more than I was looking forward to 2025.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think you and I are in a really good spot as far as the podcast, a really good spot as far as what we know, who we talk to. You know, your ability to forecast things is elite, to quote Matt Rule. It's elite. I don't know how you do it, but I think when we look back, if we do a mid-year show, like, you know, we kind of do a mid-year show around GoFest, I think we're going to look back on this show and go, oh, that's what that meant, you know? So I'm going to put it out there again now, and Tintina will be getting an email from me soon where we're going to start lining up. Now that we know the dates and we know we're going to Chicago, we need to know where Tintino and Aaron and everybody else want us to buy them lunch so we can have our annual meeting. So if you want us to cater something into the park, we'll do that too. So I don't know. I'm just feeling really bullish on 26. Yeah. I think Wayfarer is in a good spot. And to pull the curtain back for all you people listening, the podcast is in a really good spot. Like, we just got some numbers from October, and we're doing better than we thought we were. Even with like the Spotify Wrapped, like, we're in a really good spot. Like, we want to thank you guys for listening week in and week out. It really gives me more motivation, and I know Chris, I'll speak for him, to put together high quality shows that we know you guys like listening to. And more people are listening than I thought, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. Chris, look at this.
Yeah. So, it was nice to see. And we don't necessarily kind of number watch after every episode. We do what we do. We put it out, right, and we have discussions with people who listen. We have our patrons who we have chats with. We have side chats with ambassadors and stuff. And, you know, we have people who interact with our stuff on Twitter and Instagram and all that. And we don't necessarily kind of ever really look at the numbers, except for this type of year when you know the Wrapped comes out, or when the Pickaxe stuff comes out, and we kind of both kind of like, I didn't realize that we had grown that much in 2025. So it's, you know, we appreciate it. We appreciate every single person who watches the YouTube, every single person who kind of listens and downloads the podcast. You know, you are why we do this, and we have fun doing it every week. And, you know, thank you so much.
Yep, absolutely. All right, you got anything else, Chris?
I do not.
Sign us off for the year. I'll sign us off for the year. All right, so I'm going to sign us off for this episode and sign us off for the year. So that's going to do it for this episode of Wayspotters. Now, you know I can't end an episode without giving some love to the people who make this show possible. So the first person is our incredible, amazing executive producer, KatettheKonz. You rock. And a huge shout out to all of our amazing patrons, the ones that, you know, communicate with us in the Discord, and the ones that just lurk. We love you all the same. We appreciate the lurkers, and we appreciate the people who type and chat all day. And of course, got to give a special shout out to our show historian, Maddie G, who's been keeping the record straight since day one. Now, if you like what you heard, here's a couple of ways you can stay connected with us. Number one, we're on social. We're on Twitter at Wayspotters. We're on Instagram at Wayspotters Podcast, and we're on TikTok at I Make Wayspots. We love interacting with you, so don't be shy. Come say hi. Number two, check out our website, www.wayspotters.com. From there, you can download episodes, send us messages, even shoot us an email at wayspotters@PokemonProfessor.com. Number three, we've got a hotline. That's right. Call us, 704-426-3710. Leave a voicemail, and you might just hear yourself on a future episode of the podcast. Or if you're feeling brave, you can tweet us a voice message directly from Twitter. Now, some of you may be watching this on YouTube, and for those of you who are not, please visit our page, www.youtube.com/@WaysPottersPodcast. And Chris, while the good people are there, what should they do?
Click like on this video, click subscribe, and also click the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video.
Number four, if you want to support the show, the best way to do it is by joining the Pokemon Professor Network Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you'll unlock access to our Discord, where you can hang out with fans and creators from all the shows across the network, including special editions, Gotta Watch 'Em All, Purified Podcast, Good Morning Johto, Sleep It Off, After Darkrai, and Lured Up. And of course, your favorite Wayspotters. It's a fantastic community, and we'd love to have you there. Now, finally, the simplest way to help us grow is to give us a rating on the app that you're listening to us on now. 5 stars really helps the show, and if your podcatcher allows you to leave a review, do it. One of us will read it right here on the show. That's all we've got for this week. Thank you so much for listening and being the best part of the Wayspotters family. We'll be back next week with more stories, more nominations, and more fun. And remember, what's a few meters between friends?